Hello dear Pisces, welcome to Divine Debut. This is Kathy speaking. Thank you for being here. This is your January through to June 2019 general and love reading. I do apologize for my voice. Unfortunately, I've got a cold, but you're the last sign that I'm doing and it's got to be done. Today is the 29th of January 2019, and yes, it's a late reading. These are really long readings. There's a lot of information in these videos, so for those of you that love the information, this is for you. For those of you that want quick readings, this is not for you. So I'd like to thank all of you for all that you do for my channel. I want to let you know that the second part of 2019, July through to December, will be done on Vimeo. Very soon I will make that announcement. But if you want to wait and not purchase the second part of 2019, in June they will be uploaded onto YouTube for free viewing. So let's take some cards and I will talk along. I am talking a bit of astrology just to give you a fair idea of what's happening. January has been eclipse month, so it's been a tough month with two eclipses, the 5th of January and then the 21st of January. The nodes where the eclipses are happening, the nodes are in Cancer, Capricorn. So we're on the axis, the changes abound are on the axis of home, family, foundation, parents, and even mother, because the house of Cancer is ruled by the moon. And Capricorn could be the father, could be the authoritarian, your career, the way people see you in the world. Are you engaged? Are you committed, in a committed relationship? What is your status? So, you know, Capricorn is hard work. We've got Saturn, which rules Capricorn. It's in its home sign there, very close to Pluto. The south node is right there as well, next to Pluto. So, you know, north node is where we're supposed to be moving to. South node is what we should be letting go of, what is familiar. So let's take your cards, and I will be channeling messages, so extra messages come through. As you all know, I do juggle between the tarot and the astrology. So at the moment, today is the 29th, as I said, we've got a beautiful grand trine, water, in water, the water element. So the moon is in Scorpio, Chiron, the asteroid, which means any past life wounds, childhood wounds, anything that needs to be healed is in Pisces. It's at the last degree, so it's very strong there. As well as that, the moon and Chiron are connected to the north node, a beautiful flowing energy. North node is our fate and our destiny. So the moon is our emotions, it's our intuition. Again, it's our mother, and it's in Scorpio, so the moon in Scorpio can be quite dark. All right, let's look at January. Pisces. We've got the Death card, Scorpio. And I'm using the Mystical Tarot. For the rest of the cards and what I'm using, please look in the description box below. That's where all the information is. Second card is the Nine of Swords. So something has changed for you. January with the eclipses has brought on much change. You're letting go of something, someone. Let's go to February. We've got the Four of Swords, and we've got the King of Cups. Now in March, the Page of Cups and the World card. Just want to make sure you can see all the cards. Now, in April, dear Pisces, you have the Queen of Wands, as well as the Four of Cups. In May, the Knight of Pentacles and the King of Wands. Now here in June, you have the Judgment card, as well as the Seven of Swords. Okay, we've got a lot more cards to take. Let's see what the Karma Dharma cards are. Because these cards that I'm shuffling, they're only major arcanas. And it's got to do with the divine. It's out of our hands, whatever is playing out in our life. So January, you have the Empress. In February, the Lovers. And this is the sign of Gemini, of course. I will come back to which card is what. March, you have the Tower. In April, the Faith card. May, the Strength card. And in June, the Star card. Okay, so let's see what Spirit has, what messages come through from Spirit. I've already pre-shuffled the cards, so just so you could see me shuffling. January, we've got Embrace the Moment. February, Trust. And as I was pre-shuffling, this card fell out before I opened cam, so it's come out again. There's March, Serenity. April, Hello from Heaven. This card has showed up a fair bit. May, Forgiveness. And in June, and this card, Forgiveness, you are the first sign that is getting this card from Spirit, this message. And we've got Strength. It's funny that we've got the Strength card here, and here we've got Strength card as well. So, you know that with tarot, there can be like, you know, a blending in from one month to the other. Of course, these are general readings. Please watch your Sun, Moon and Rising. Your Venus, if you're a female, your male. If you're a male, please watch your Mars. And I would also suggest watch your North Node. If you're looking at the future, look at your North Node. Obviously, the past will be the South Node. So let's take the astrology cards. And when I mention any signs, it's Sun, Moon or Rising. Now in January, you've got Saturn and Truth. February, Water Element and Sensing. It's funny that we're just a couple of days before February, and we've got, just like you can see this triangle, this trine. It looks like a water trine. That's what's happening. Okay, in March, so this is healing energy. Wow, Air Element and communicating. That's amazing how those two cards are very similar. So we've got in April, look at that, Grand Trine and Blessings. Wow, Pisces. May, 12th house and Escape. This is your card. Pisces is the 12th house. And June, Saturn return and Age. Pisces, it's not an easy time for you. You've got Saturn in January and Saturn in June. Let's look at the romance angels and see what's happening for you in your love life. January. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept help from others. Now in the month of February, make the effort. Great love is worth taking. The steps you're guided to take. March. Deception. Someone is wearing a false self-mask in this relationship. So it's on top of the air element and communication. Let's look at April. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And this card is right above, right on top of the Hierophant. And for May, getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And in the month of June, Pisces, let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. And I had another card in my hands, so I will take that. Wow. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. And that's on top of the Saturn return and age. So it looks like in the month of June, you're already in the next eclipse energies. In July, on July 2nd and on the 16th, we've got a total solar eclipse on the 2nd of July, and that's going to be in Cancer. And on the 16th, we've got a partial lunar eclipse in the sign of Capricorn. So, you know, you can feel the energies of the eclipses even a month before that. So this energy here is where there's shifting and changing. Things are happening here big time. So yeah, don't lose hope though. Don't lose the faith. You've got the Star card there, and you've also got the Judgment card, which for me means a second chance. But I will be looking at the astrology as well. Let's go to January. The chocolate message cards. Sadness. Bar and sadness. Chocolate bar. We will be reading the messages. February. Chocolate pudding and balance. March. Cocoa chocolate, hibernation. April. Melted chocolate and goodness. In the month of May, you have graduation chocolate, study. And June, you have ice cream, chocolate ice cream and joy. How does that work? Joy on top of unrequited love. Okay, so there's a lot of stories playing out here, and for each and every one of you, it's going to speak differently. The reading, of course, you all will receive your own messages. The readings may not resonate fully for each of you, but take what you can and leave what does not work for you. Okay, so we're looking at January right now, and we've got, just let me give you an idea of what's happening in the planets. Venus and Jupiter. Jupiter is at home of Sagittarius. Venus and Jupiter, which, you know, Venus is all about love and what we value. It's projects that we create. It's anything that is special to us, important to us, right? So they did conjunct. They came together in the sign of Sagittarius. So that means, you know, Jupiter being very strong there, it is the benefic. It's something very romantic, something very truthful in relation to love or what you love. Now, there could be a lot of boasting about your love life. You could be boasting a lot. Be careful, because there is a square to Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune is at home there, so it's very strong. And, you know, the square with Jupiter, Neptune will be going on for quite a while in this year, for most of the year. So, you know, when Jupiter and Venus were together, they're trining down to Mars in Aries. Now, Mars rules Aries. Mars also co-rules Scorpio. So just letting you know that, it could have been a very romantic time recently. You could have had the truth come up about your love life, about relationships, I suppose any relationships, even though Venus and Mars are the lovers of the zodiac. Sagittarius is foreign places and people. It's also the house of philosophy. Some of you may be even, going to a distant land and extending, furthering your education. And Sagittarius is all about going on an adventure as well. So Sag and Capricorn also deal with the law. So with, having Jupiter there in Sagittarius, it's very strong. It's coming up to the third decan, which means, each sign has got 10 degrees. So the third decan, the third 10 degrees are where Jupiter is going to be very strong, but Jupiter will retrograde. Now Venus soon will be coming up to Saturn and Pluto and the South Node next month, if I'm not mistaken. I will be talking about February in a little while, but let's go. What else do we have? We've got Chiron, as I said, 29 degrees. There is some cycle of healing of past life wounds, childhood wounds, the victim mentality. There is some sort of a completion here. And, whenever a planet is at the last degrees, it's very, very strong. So Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. Pisces, this is really good for you. The fact that Chiron is leaving your sign finally is going to give you that breath of, lifting a weight off you. I think that you've been working through your healing. It's a time of letting go of past life wounds. It's time to, get over things and move on. Now Uranus is at almost 29 degrees. Uranus rules Aquarius. Uranus is in Aries at 29 degrees. It had, moved from Aries into Taurus a few months ago, but it retrograded back into Aries. So it went back to finish whatever it did not finish. Now Uranus is the rebel. It's the genius. It's, the revolutionary. It's, whatever is not correct in your life, Uranus is going to change it. Uranus is sudden. And being in the sign of Aries, it can be quite explosive. So it will be moving into Taurus roughly mid-March. So it's going to be very strong from now until March at the last degrees of Aries. Now the Sun and Mercury are conjunct. They are together in Aquarius. Mercury is so happy to be out of Capricorn because the last few months it's been through a lot of hard work. Now Mercury is the communicator. It's the communication. It's the messages. It's the intellect. Okay, because Mercury is the messenger. So it's together with the Sun. And the Sun is Leo. The Sun is the heart. The Sun is clarity, healing. Even though Mercury is so close, like they're on top of each other, right? So the Sun's rays weakens Mercury in Aquarius. But it's much better than when it was going over Saturn just recently, and then over Pluto, and then over the South Node. It went through a lot. So some sort of messages are coming through to dealing with difficulties, with restrictions. There's been transformations and healing is happening through clarity, through communication. Now, because Aquarius is the humanitarian as well, there could be, and we're talking about the collective energy, there could be really good signs of help through through goodness, through giving to the people who are in need. This is a good time for that. Now, there are no retrogrades at all. The moon is in Scorpio, as I said. The North Node is at 26 degrees and 44 minutes. And the South Node, of course, in Capricorn is at the same degree. So there are no retrogrades in January. And it is the birthday of Aquarius. So if you're cross-watching and you're an Aquarian, happy birthday. Let's go to your cards for January. I do apologize. I'm not that well. My voice is funny. But as I said, please forgive me. Now we've got Scorpio here and we've got the Nine of Swords. So some sort of a transformation, something you are letting go of. Now death can be very frightening. This could also be your worst fears that are coming up to the surface. You're not able to sleep. You're having nightmares. You know that the eclipses that happened in January really, really, really hard. For me personally, I had something happen 10 minutes before the first eclipse and then 10 minutes after the second eclipse. Major things have happened. Things have happened in my life, so it could not be more on point. Now, for all of you, it's not going to be the same. The energy of January could be moving into February. As I said, not everyone's born on the same day. So some of you are dealing with a Scorpio. Others of you could be an air sign, so Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. Or it could be Scorpio and moon or rising sign in air. Nevertheless, there is, you know, your perception here, your logic is going haywire. I think that fear brings an imbalance. It does not let you think clearly. And as I said, and Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. So Mercury, which is the communicator, just recently passed over Pluto and the South Node. So that could be when rough mid-January when you were feeling this, these energies. Now some of you may even have someone who's not well and you could be fearing the worst. Someone could be ill because we've got the Four of Swords in the month of February, and it does show someone who is lying down. So it doesn't look like there is anything major. I don't believe that because the death card is here that there will be a death. I don't see that happening. So my best bet is that it's not. So don't fear that. Everything will be fine, especially when we've got the Empress here. Now the Empress speaks of birth. Look at that child. This is a new beginning. You know that with endings, and you've got a metaphorical ending here with the Scorpio card, the death card. With this new life, this could be a gift that is being offered to you. Now we've got the sign of Venus here. And as I said, in January, Venus is doing beautiful things with Mars and joining up with Jupiter. So, you know, the Empress is very loving and giving, very beautiful energy, especially for anything romantic or anything to do with relationships, because the Empress is a number 3. She speaks of expansion and growth. So whatever seeds you've planted are going to be growing. Now some of you have already received the good because this Empress has actually given birth already. So now the Empress is the sign of Taurus, the sign of Libra, because they're the signs that are ruled by Venus. The Empress is also called sometimes Aries. So this could be a mother of yours. This could also be a pregnancy. It could be a difficult pregnancy, but don't worry, it's gonna be fine because of the baby she's got in her hands here. The child will be born because we've got the Four of Swords. So some of you may be bedridden. Maybe you're going to have a difficult pregnancy. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen and that you're not going to get through this. So don't worry about that. Now the Empress with business, beautiful, beautiful. You know, whatever you've invested in, it's coming back to you. It's time for you to receive. And here we've got embrace the moment, which is the message from Spirit. One thing I'd like to say for those of you that are having an intimate relationship, be careful because pregnancy can happen in January. especially with Mars, Jupiter, and Venus joining in a beautiful trine. You know, that can, Jupiter expands on everything it touches, so expanding on Venus and Mars, you know, wow, that could even mean twins. Let's look at embrace the moment. Embrace this day, this very moment. Think positively today and repel those negative thoughts. Try not to judge yourself or others. This may be harder than you think. What is actually happening is that you're changing your energy. So, yeah, the change is probably that you're changing your energy. And it says that embrace this day, because there's a day that's very special here for you. And think positively. You know, what we think, how we send out that energy to the divine, that's what we're going to magnetize and pull in. That's how the universe works. So let's see what else we've got. We've got Saturn and the truth. Saturn is Chronos. It is the lessons that we go through in life. Now, Saturn can be tough, but the truth can always set someone free. So it is a number 6, and 6 is the house of Virgo. Now, Virgo can speak of health. It can speak of your daily routine. Virgo is also of service to others. So Saturn could be a boss, could be an authoritative figure in your life, an elderly, someone who's more experienced. They've been through hardships in life, even if they're not that old, but they have lived through experiences, and therefore comes the maturing. So truth can be hard sometimes, but as I said, truth, anything that is built on truth is going to last longer. And Saturn does bring in longevity. Okay, longevity and stability as well. Now, Saturn is ruled by Aquarius, as well as, I should say, Saturn rules Aquarius, and Saturn also rules Capricorn. So, yeah. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. So whatever you are dealing with, reach out to others. You know, whatever Saturnian lesson you're going through, you need the support right now. Okay? But there is a silver lining here, because we've got embrace the moment. So even though things may seem tough, something is going to be lighter. So you've got a mixed bag of energies there. Let's see what the chocolate bar, sadness. Okay, let's see what the card says. This will be interesting. Let's see what's going on. Why are you sad? This card can indicate a sense of sadness surrounding you at this time. It is important, therefore, that you not attempt to hide your feelings by pretending everything is okay. The outside shows a tough exterior, but inside it feels like life is falling apart. Dear Pisces, this sounds like Cancerian energy. Cancer is the crab, which is murky and soft on the inside. They're very sensitive, just like you guys are. On the outside, they've got that shell. So could you be dealing with a Cancerian, sun, moon, or rising that is very upset? Could go that way. Or it could be you that this card is talking about. Now, you know, these messages could always be someone that you're dealing with, someone that you know as well. Take a warm and relaxing aromatherapy bath, have a massage, sit in natural surroundings, and let the beauty of nature embrace you. Stop taking on the worries of the world and allow the positive energies you seek heal you. I allow the sweetness in life to come my way. I accept all that is good for me as I make myself my number one priority. So, yeah. As I said, the energies of January were not easy. Let's look at February. So I'm looking at the time when the sun changes signs. So I'm on the 19th of February. Venus is right on top of Saturn. Jupiter has hit the 20-degree and 38-minute mark. So I think Jupiter goes up to about 24 degrees before it retrogrades. So it's traveling in its shadow area now. It's when I say shadow period, it's when it's covering the degrees that it will retrograde on and then come back over those degrees. So whatever is happening in your life, you know, now when, you know, January, you will be revisiting this time again. So Venus is on top of Saturn. Not easy, but Venus can, you know, as I said, with Saturn, if you put in the hard work, if you do the right thing, if you are sweet and you look at the values and not try to overtake whatever authority is around you, you need to abide by the law at this time in anything to do with your love life, your, you know, anything that is Venusian for you. You need to be strong. This Venus can be stability, though. It can be stability when it comes together with Saturn. This could be some of you moving in with your partner, and there is a change here because Venus is ready to go over Pluto. She's already practically touching on Pluto, and that's where the change comes. And then she will go over the South Node, which will be, you know, letting go. It's like a new chapter you're moving into. The Sun is at 0 degrees and 23 minutes of Pisces. Of course, this is your birthday time, dear Pisces, so happy birthday. Neptune and Mercury are exact at 15 degrees and 40 minutes, roughly. Now, Neptune can be wearing those rose-colored glasses. Neptune is your ruler, so whatever is happening with Neptune affects you. Neptune can be the divine source, divine love. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So, you know, it's funny that we've got a nice sextile aspect. So from Venus with Saturn and Pluto in the South Node, it's touching on Neptune and Mercury. So I believe that some of you will have the clarity, you know, you will have information. Mercury is giving you communication. It's giving you information on things that have been blurry, things that you have not been able to see. Now, it is your solar return, so it's supposed to be a good time for you. So fingers crossed that it works out well for you. Now, the Sun is sextiling as well onto Uranus and Mars. Uranus in Aries, last degrees, and Mars in Taurus now. So again, you know, the Sun is clarity in anything to do with what are you changing in your life? What are you working on? What are you getting ready to move into? Now, Mars is energy. Mars is passion. It is our drive, and, you know, it's our life force. So Mars has jumped over Uranus. That can be quite difficult, but it can also be, let's say, something to do with your desires, your creativity. You may come up with an ingenious idea, one that's going to bring you a lot of value in your life. So that plays out like that as well. As well as that, Venus is coming up to, she's going to be right opposite the North Node. So destiny is playing out here. The Moon is in Leo. It's fun, you know, we want to have fun emotionally. Let's go to the cards. I don't want to stay too long on the astrology. And you've got Four of Swords and the King of Cups. Now, because Pisces, this could be your energy. You could be the King of Cups. Of course, it can go the other way as well. The King of Cups is someone who is very emotional, can be quite emotional. There's someone who's very true about their feelings. Their heart is open and ready to love. He's got a cup. He's got that Ace of Cups in his hands. So, but for some reason, you're not ready to offer this cup. Or if someone is offering this cup to you, so it could be Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, there is some sort of, I think someone is really taking the time out to figure things out, because I feel as though there's been some sort of a, I'm going to say this could be for some of you, not for all of you, a love triangle. When I see these 3 swords here and the 4th sword is separate, the 3 of swords could speak of some sort of a heartache, something that went wrong. I feel as though some of you are trying to heal before you come forth with certainty. Some of you may even be traveling over water, or hoping to travel over water, because as you could see, the King of Cups, he's actually in a boat. So you're taking time out to make a decision about your stability, about your home, your family. There is an offer that's coming through, but there is a decision that needs to be made before you can take action. Now, the Lovers is a number 6. It's the sign of Gemini. So it looks as though if you're dealing with a Gemini, they've been through a lot. Now, as I said, it could have been a love triangle, but it could also be just someone that's meditating on what's their next move. They may have been, working too hard, doing too much. We just finished the time of Capricorn where it's busy, busy, busy. And here, this could be someone just taking a break. And look at how the 4th sword is right on top, which it reminds me of the hospitals, when you can't get up out of that hospital bed. For instance, if you've had surgery and it's hard for you to get up, you've got that helping handle above you. This is the sword, though. So when this person wakes up, he's going to take that Ace of Swords, and that's going to help him pick his life up. So he's going to be standing in his truth. So now this could have been surgery as well for others of you. And if it is surgery, I feel as though mentally with the King of Cups as well as physically, things are looking good. We've got the Lovers, which is a number 6. Now, the Lovers can be a karmic relationship. This is a karmic relationship. It's, it's a major arcana card. So I think that usually, and the difference between the 2 of Cups for me and the Lovers is that the Lovers card is more of a relationship where there's been sexual intimacy. So for a lot of you that don't know this, when we share our bed with someone intimately, right, that's when karma is formed. So the 2 of Cups for me is more of a it's the courting of a relationship. It's that kind of a relationship where there is more of an emotional bond and tie. Here it speaks mostly of a sexual natured relationship where there's a lot of attraction here. Okay, more physical than romantic. Even though the King of Cups here is showing up as romantic, now this says that this person is coming from the heart. So there is a physical and an emotional love here from this King of Cups, whoever this is for you, dear Gemini. Did I say Gemini? Oh my God. Excuse me. So if you're a Gemini and you're watching this card, well, this is your message. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. We've got trust, and this is from the divine. Also with Jupiter in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is all about faith as well. Sagittarius is the philosopher, it's the guru, it's spirituality, it's the divine. So while your logical mind, and there's the logical, which, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury also rules Virgo. So I did mention the sign of Virgo before. Now I'm mentioning the sign of Gemini because they're ruled by the logical Mercury, which is right on last month. It was really, really close to the sun. Now In February, it's right on top of your ruler, so this is important. Now, you know that Neptune is spiritual. Pisces is all about spirit, the divine, the metaphysics. So while your logical mind is dictating a supposedly clear direction, your soul's inner guidance is urging you to follow an alternative path. The logical path may be one that you consider safe and more familiar, but you could be missing out on boundless opportunities and so much more. So what it's saying to you, don't use your logic. Use your intuition, use your heart chakra here. The sun is in your sign. It's your solar return. It's a lucky time for you. And Gemini, as I said, is all about logic. But the King of Cups is all about the heart. All right, so let's see what else we've got. Water element and sensing. It's a number 40, and 40 is all about 4. 4 is the house of Cancer, home, family, foundation. Now, water element and sensing speaks of strong psychic abilities at this time. This can be a very, very emotional time for you. Some of you may be doing a lot of crying, a lot of purging of pain from the past. Let that water wash over you. This is a healing energy. As I said, it looks like the trine that is happening at the end of January. So the water element, trust your intuition, because it is the moon that is connected. As I said, moon in Scorpio touches on the north node, and then it touches on Neptune, which is, Chiron, sorry, which was the wounds, which is wounds, okay? So now the romance angel says make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take, and we've got children here. So this, you could be dealing with someone that's from your past. I see this as the 6 of Cups. Some of you may have children. Children may be your blockage. Some of you may be dealing, as I said, with someone that you feel very trusting with. Look, it's as though this is a soulmate connection, because you've obviously known each other either from childhood or from a past life. Look at the love here. Just look at the love. Look at the innocence. So maybe that's what the 4 of Swords, that's what's happening here. This person is reminiscing, looking back at the past. Even though we don't have retrogrades, we're just ready. We're almost ready. Actually, the north nodes, the north and south node, are starting to move backwards, retrograde, but that's the normal cycle for them. They go to the opposite way of what the planet's movement is. So they go, the north and south node go anti-clockwise, whereas the planets go, clockwise, the north and south node go clockwise, and the planets go anti-clockwise. So let's see what the chocolate message is. Balance. Chocolate pudding, yum, and balance. Now is the time to find balance in many areas of your life, work, finances, and relationships in particular. And you've got the number 6, which is the Lovers. Certain people and situations need your attention. Alchemy is at work. You may find yourself juggling many different aspects of life at this time, balancing, mixing, and matching this with that until things fall into place and you feel right. You may need to try several approaches before you settle on what feels right for you. And I feel as though you've been very busy with that 4 of Swords. You've been very busy, but you're going to take some time out. Balance your inner self with your outer, and you will reach your goals quicker, but work will be required to make this happen. I live my life in balance. All my expectations are met with ease. So when we look at balance, we're talking about Libra. Now, Libra is the partnership house. In any partnership, doesn't have to be just romantic, could be family. And so pay attention. Certain people need your attention at this time. And it does say that alchemy is at work. Now, alchemy is, it does remind me of the angels, you know, the temperance card. And that would be the energy of Jupiter, right? Sagittarius. So know that whatever's happening here is related to what is happening with Jupiter up there, I believe. That's what I'm feeling. Let's go on to the month of March. Okay, so Venus is now in Aquarius. She's moving quickly through Aquarius. Mercury's now turned retrograde, and it's like, you know, just jumped off Neptune, and it's, you know, at 18 degrees. Neptune is at 16. So Mercury's starting to retrograde. It's going to be going over. Whatever's happening in February, you will be looking over it in March. Be careful with communication. Mercury is the instigator of communication. It's the logic. Be careful that you don't lose the ball with Mercury going retrograde on top of Neptune. You know, just pay attention to the details. There can be a lot of lack of clarity. So what Mercury is trying to do by going retrograde says that you need to concentrate on whatever was happening here in February. So the sun is at 0 degrees and 25 of Aries. So it's the solstice. It's, you know, it's like the beginning of a brand new year here. Chiron and the sun are conjunct. So any past life wounds are being healed now with the sun going over Chiron, I believe, especially with Chiron beginning a new cycle. For those of you that could have strong Aries, Chiron could be bringing something up, because Chiron, as I said, it's a victim mentality. It's, you know, past life wounds. The sun can be healing. So whatever you're working with, whatever comes up, it will be healed. You will have the clarity and the heart. You know, if you're coming from a place of the heart, even mental things can, you know, love. I'm going to say the word love. One moment, please. So yeah, if you're coming from a place of heart, the heart, even mental issues or grievances with your partner could be healed. Now the sun is true love, so there is something like true love. Something like true love is seriously showing up here. You've got the Page of Wands. But Uranus, I want to end with the astrology. Uranus is at 0 degrees and 43 minutes of Taurus. Uranus on the cusp of Aries and Taurus. You know, you're going for what you value, and you know, you're going to go for it. You're going to take the risk. You're going to do something differently, obviously. Now, Mars is still in Taurus, the North Node. I was just talking about the North and South Node, and my kitty just jumped on one of my tables and brought it all down. So there was a loud noise, but I've cut it away from the video. It's not very pleasant. So yeah, something unexpected and sudden is going to happen here. We've got an offer of love. As you can see, the seahorse, and this offer is unexpected. It just comes out of the blue. The seahorse is good luck, so there is a successful completion to a cycle, some sort of a cycle. Now this is karmic. The World card does show Saturn down here, and Saturn is the lesson. So some lesson has finished. I think that you can, with love, coming from a place of the heart, in the month of March, I think that you will have successful completion. Now the World card can also speak of world travel. Okay. Saturn, again, is the law. The South Node is in Capricorn. Whatever is happening, you know, whatever happened for you in January or February, and in relation to the eclipses, I think there is a completion here. We do have Venus here, which is the goddess of beauty and love. So this is looking really beautiful in the month of March. Oh, wow, there's Uranus. There's the sudden lightning strike, change, shift. Whatever hasn't been working for you, you are now letting go of it. Or, you know, this can work out the other way. You're letting go of something that did not work for you. Doesn't mean that it's necessarily in love. In love, it looks like something quickly is coming in, because here you've got the Stay Optimistic card in the next month. So let's see what the romance angel says. It says deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. So the mask could be coming off and the truth will be told. That's what I feel. So whoever has been holding back on information, you will know about it. Air element and communication is a 39, so that adds up to a 12, which is the Hangman, which is Neptune, your ruler. Be careful with communication here. It can be blurred, but taking your time with Mercury retrograde, going over conversations, any sort of communication could be really good. Now, communication is the best way to build on any relationship. Okay, some of you may be receiving a message that is unexpected. As I said, it's coming through social media, telephone call. For most of you, I believe that it's going to come through through social media. That's a message that I'm getting. And because communicating, you know, usually these days we tend to communicate through social media more than even face-to-face. So now with the World card, it could say that your partner's at a distance, or some of you may be planning a trip, a world trip. Could go any way. Here we've got Serenity. Spirit says the most important relationship you can have is with yourself. This is a time to honor, nurture, and love yourself more by seeking out and removing any negative feelings and emotions that are left over from yesterday. Don't let past issues and resentments interfere with your serenity today. Okay, so that's the message from Spirit. Now, the Deception card can speak in many ways. It could speak of lies, you know, even white lies, where there is information blurred for some reason. For some of you, could be even, if this is a love triangle that I mentioned in February, that's where the deception probably is. You know, 2 is company, 3 is a crowd. So let's see what the chocolate card says. Hibernation. Hibernation. So that's like taking time away. Some of you, the deception could be that they are not communicating. Someone is not communicating, and then suddenly they show up with the Tower card. And the Tower is Scorpio, and it's also Uranus. I'm telling you, it's breaking down what you don't value. You know, we're all changing with Uranus moving into Taurus. We're doing things differently. We're not, you know, it's as though we're breaking the mold. We're not doing things religiously. We're doing things in a very transformative, very new way. Now, this card signifies the importance of spending time alone, to hibernate and hide away from the world. Delve into the raw aspects of life that prove difficulty and confusing. And I want to say, for some of you out there, you might be stealing away and going traveling with your partner, just getting away from the world. Don't worry about what others want or think, because right now you need to be honest and authentic with yourself. Be the hermit, recoup, regather, and rethink. Take time out to be alone. Take a walk in the sunshine, stroll along the beach, or visit a park. Clear your head. Turn off the telephone and all other technology and just be. So I enjoy the time alone and I refresh with my own thoughts. Time to myself gives me the confidence and joy to move on with the rest of my day. Now, it's funny that we've got the 4 of Swords here, which is like the hibernation. So that's why I'm saying that sometimes one month can bleed into the other. Let's go on to the month of April. So in April, we've got Venus at the last degrees of Pisces. It's almost, you know, right on the cusp with Aries. Chiron and Mercury are conjunct. The sun is at 29 degrees. Actually, it's on the cusp, 29 and 58. So it's moving into Taurus. The sun is getting ready to catch up. It's conjunct, actually. It's 2 degrees away from Uranus. So, again, you know what Uranus is. You know what the sun is. This is something radical, something quickly to do with your values, to do with, and this could even be like freaky weather, I'm going to say, because Taurus is the earth. Taurus is also the 5 senses. So something radical to do with love could be happening here. Some of you could be breaking free from a narcissistic relationship here with the sun. You're going for what your heart tells you is right. And that's the only way to go. You have to trust in your heart. Don't use your logic, use your heart space. Come from that space. Mars is in Gemini at 13 degrees, and the nodes have shifted to 21 degrees and 12 minutes. So yeah, Venus is starting a brand new cycle. Once Venus moves into Aries, it's like, you know, you're going to have to love yourself first, because Aries is I am. But Aries is also the warrior. You're going for what you want in love. Seriously. You are going for it. Now here we've got the Queen of Wands and the Four of Cups. Queen of Wands is very spontaneous. She's the leader. She's also very lucky. She's very passionate. And she's a leader on top of all. She's also a business owner. So she's driven by her passion. She's a very sexual natured person. You know, her hormones run wild. So she could be a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Now the Sun is just leaving Aries, as I said, in the month of April. So Aries, as I said, is the beginning. Aries is the instigator. Maybe you are creating something, and this could be in love. You could be creating something that is yours. You may be starting your own business. There is an offer coming through which you're not noticing, and that's the Ace of Cups. Whatever you've created, I want to say, it's going to make you very happy, because look, we've got the Three of Cups that are standing in the front. But this is not the only celebration. There is more to come. There is still, you know, and this could be a collaboration, of course, with others, if this is a business that you're starting. Now, this could also be an offer of love, an offer of someone asking you to move in, because the fours always speak of home and family. Someone could be offering you, or ready to offer you something that is serious. You know, something that is going to be long-lasting. The Hierophant does speak of religion. It speaks of marriage as well. Engagement, commitment, whatever. The Hierophant is seriously praying here, hoping for something to change. He's aligning with the divine. He's totally concentrating. He actually looks like he may be in a bit of pain. So if you're dealing with a Taurian person, there could be some emotional heartache here. There is some sort of an offer for some of you which may not be taken at this time. It may not be the right time for this offer to be accepted for whatever reason. Now here we've got faith. You've got to keep the faith here. In the month of April, dear Pisces, you've got to keep the faith. Now, could it be that you are offering your cup of love to someone who's got strong fire as well as Taurus? But for some reason this offer cannot be accepted at this time, and it's really draining, you know, on this Taurian person. Now, the Hierophant can also speak of restrictions. You got to do things by the book. And look at what we've got from Spirit. Hello from heaven. Your loved ones in the spirit world want to connect with you as much as you want to connect with them. They know you've been thinking of them, and they're sending you signs and symbols to show you how much they love you, to prove they're with you at this time. Now, could you be thinking or remembering someone who's passed on, someone that you were very close to, which could have been the sign of, so we've got water, fire, as well as earth. We've got Taurus here. So you could be receiving synchronicities and messages that could be reminding you of someone that is up in heaven right now, and it's someone that is very dear to you. Know that they have transformed. We've got the dragonfly here, which speaks of change and transformation. And we've got a rose here, which speaks of love. So there is change here again in April. Change can come through love. Of course, as I said, I'm talking about the heart here as well as April. Know that some of you may be seriously committing to something that could be against your religion, something that you don't believe in, your childhood conditioning. It's like you're going against the grain, but you're committing to it. That's a message for maybe a couple of you out there. Now here we've got the grand trine and blessings. It doesn't say whether it's water element, fire, air, or earth. It's a grand trine, which means that there are 3 trines that join together, and the grand trine brings blessings. Now it adds to a 46, so that's a 10. There is some sort of a completion here. And usually with the water trine that I mentioned here in January, you know, watery element, the water is very flowing, the trines are very flowing. But if it's a fire trine, it means that there is a lot of, you know, fire here. Again, it's a beautiful aspect, the grand trine. If you've got a grand trine that you were born with, if it's in your natal chart, this is a blessing. This is something that comes naturally to you. I've actually got a water trine that I was born with. So yeah, when we have a grand water trine like we do in the month of January, things flow effortlessly. It's something that is very familiar. So we've got stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Some of you are seriously thinking of offering. There's another offer. Look at that. You're either offering your love or you're waiting to be offered someone else's love. You're waiting on an offer to come through. Now we have the Page of Cups here. So I don't know how that works out for you, how that speaks to you in particular. Because the Page of Cups is here, it's not far off from this position here. Now know that April is the midpoint of the next eclipses. So this is like, this month can be quite energetically. It's as though you've got one foot on, you know, in one place and another foot in another. It's like you're going through different sorts of changes. You're trying to, you know, find the balance here. And we've got goodness, melted chocolate. This card represents the peacemaker and crowd pleaser. While you can see the good in people, being practical of mind and down to earth will evoke a sense of integrity, inspiring others to seek your advice. While it is important to be there for everyone, it is equally as important to set time aside for yourself. Putting yourself first will make you a better friend, lover, parent, or colleague. I allow myself to go with the flow and make time for myself. I remember my true essence. Sorry, I can't read it if I have it too close to the camera. Let's look at May. Now, May is when the retrogrades are starting. Jupiter's at 22 degrees retrograde of Sag. Saturn is at 20 degrees. Pluto's at 23. And, you know, when the big planets are retrograding, it's, you know, it's retrograde time. You know, even a small planet like Mercury, when it goes retrograde, of course it brings in the changes. But, you know, when you've got the outer planets that are retrograding, this is big, big stuff, important stuff. Now, we've got Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter retrograde, so it's a time of going within, you know, checking in with yourself, looking over the details. Neptune has now moved to 18 degrees. Uranus and Venus are together in Taurus. Okay, so Mercury and the Sun are at the end of, actually on the 20th of May, the Sun has not moved into Gemini yet. If you are a Gemini watching this, happy birthday. So I moved it 1 day forward. On the 21st of May, the Sun is at 1 degree, and it's still on top of Mercury. So again, more information, more communication. Now, Mercury gets weakened by the Sun when it's too close. Even though it's ruled by Gemini, still there is yap, 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 chat, chat, chat. There are a lot of conversations that will enlighten you. The Sun is there, so that's going to show you what's been going on. Now, Mars has moved into Cancer, and the North and South Node are at 18 degrees. Neptune is at 18 degrees, so there's a beautiful trine, flowing energy from the North Node in Cancer to Neptune, your ruler. This is a beautiful, you know, fated, loving energy that's happening here. So it looks as though the ball is rolling. What's happening here? So we've got the Queen of Wands in April, and in May we've got the King of Wands. So this is obviously a soulmate relationship. You're moving slowly and steadily. Okay? Stability is coming in for whatever you are hoping to accomplish. The King of Wands is someone who is mastered the art of creativity. The Queen, of course, is more the emotional, whereas the King is more action, because it's a male. Males are more action-taking, whereas females are, you know, they're more the receptive energy. So the King of Wands is someone who could be in your life. Now, either you're the King of Wands or you're the Queen of Wands. Nevertheless, this is a couple. So you've mastered the art, as I said, of your creativity. You're the leader. The King of Wands can be someone who's very passionate, someone who calls the shots. He can be quiet. He can have a strong ego. And here, with the Knight of Pentacles, this is very slow and steady movement forward in finances. Even if this is love, you know, the Knight of Pentacles is really, really slow moving. But then this King of Wands is like, he thinks and he acts straight away. So there's a you know, juxtaposition sort of a energy here, like opposing energies here. So you may be dealing with someone who is of Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We did have the card of Taurus, the Hierophant. And so if you're dealing with, if you are the Queen of Wands and you're dealing with two different people, then we've got a younger Earth sign, or more immature, I can say, and an older fire sign, Sun, Moon, or Rising, so Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. So let's see what else we've got. And we've got Leo. So Leo is the sign. This is the Strength card. You need to have the courage to take action. You need to be patient. Trust could be an issue here, so you need to be able to trust in your abilities here. And we've got forgiveness. Forgiveness is from Spirit, and it says, holding on to resentment and anger is preventing or even suffocating your spiritual growth. Resentment is one of the strongest and most damaging of human emotions. The act of forgiveness in its own right is equally incredibly powerful, and it has the capacity to heal and transform. Now, look at this knight. He's not on a horse. okay? And he looks crippled. He doesn't look like he's on a deer, but he looks crippled. The way he's sitting, he's not moving forward very easily. He's moving forward, but with difficulties. So I want to say that if you are needing to forgive someone, know that holding on to hatred and to, anger is only going to do harm to your heart, first of all. And the Strength card is Leo, so Leo is all about the heart. Let go of any resentments. At this time, it's going to do you good, seriously. For some of you, there is some sort of an ending because we've got the 12th house and escape. Some of you, if you are in total anger and resentment, you may be, using anything to escape from your wounds, your pain, whatever. You could be just overeating or even just over drinking. Know that the shadow side of Pisces is, escapism, and that's like drowning yourself in drugs or in alcohol or just overindulging in whatever is going to make you not be present. And not being present is not a good idea because you can lose yourself here. And the 12th house is some sort of a completion. 36 adds to a 9. And 9 is obviously the house of Sagittarius. And I've mentioned everything about Sagittarius. Sagittarius is actually going retrograde. So it's time for you to look over whatever you've been working through. It's a time to find the blessings. When Jupiter retrogrades, it still gives good things, thankfully, because it is, of course, a benefic planet. Now, the only downside to Jupiter can be just too much of something, as well as Jupiter can deal with legal issues. So getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So, and the 12th house is very dark. It's very mystical. Some of you may be trying to do magic. It's the house of the metaphysics, the occult. You may be trying to find information here if there are trust issues. But, the 12th house, as I said, is some sort of a completion. Escaping. Some of you, and this can be a literal escape. Someone may be seriously trying to get away from someone who can have a really, really strong ego. Getting away, escaping is going to bring in the change, the ending. And here, there is, just like Pisces, the house of Pisces, revealing what is hidden. Neptune can be really, really, it's like black or white. It's very difficult, or it's, over the top beautiful. So it's the divine. It's the divine source, but it can be really, really harsh as well. And we've got graduation chocolate and study. A time for new knowledge, learning, studying, new skills, open minds. Remember how I said the 9th house? Some of you may be traveling to finish your studying, a completion, 12th house. You may be graduating. A time of progression, promotion, and elevation. Open your eyes to learning and studying. Join a night class, enroll in a university course, book into a workshop, or just open a book and allow newfound knowledge to strengthen and advance your mind. And the 9th house is philosophy as well. So some of you may be becoming quite the philosopher, or you may be into teaching. I allow new knowledge, new experiences, and new doors to open in my life. I enjoy the freedom that learning something new brings to my life. Now, some of you may need to continue your studies. If you're doing furthering your studies, that could be a necessity for you if you are building your own business. And that's probably why we've got the Knight of Pentacles that doesn't look too happy about moving forward. But to get to the sit on that throne, you have to have some sort of knowledge. Okay, so let's go to the month of June. In June, we've got Jupiter at 18 degrees. Neptune is ready to go retrograde as well at 18 degrees. We've got Saturn at 18 degrees. So 18, the number 18 seems to be a theme in the month of June. Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter are still retrograde. As I said, Neptune will be going retrograde. The North Node now is at 17 degrees, so it's moved a fair bit. So it's 5 degrees away from Pluto. So that's a bit of a leeway. But don't forget that Pluto's moving backwards, so it's moving closer, even though it's really slow moving. Now, we've got Mercury and Mars in Cancer, and they're only 5 degrees away from the North Node. The Sun is, hitting Cancer. It's, it's Cancer's birthday time, and the Sun, as soon as it gets to 10 degrees, that's when we're going to have the next eclipse. So Venus is in Gemini, a lot of communication about anything that, this could be a small project, I should say a small group that you're working on, on a project with, and through communication, that's what Gemini is. It's Mercury ruled. There is collaboration here. Whatever this is, it's a really good time because Venus is right opposite Jupiter, and Jupiter retrograde is giving you the chance to, work on things, and then, of course, Jupiter brings in the gifts. So Uranus is at 5 degrees, 5.5 degrees of Taurus. Chiron is at 5 degrees. And what else? I mean, be careful with difficult communications through family, like Mercury and Mars in Cancer. Be careful with aggressive communication to do with your mother. Here we've got the card of Judgment. Now this is Scorpio energy. Scorpio is the sign opposite Taurus, and Uranus is in Taurus. So whatever Uranus is doing is affecting Scorpio. Of course it affects everyone, but usually the sign opposite us, our sign or a certain sign, that's what is affected a lot. So this is some sort of a second chance. There is a reincarnation, something, rebirth here. Whatever has died for you, there is a second chance coming through. And we've got the Seven of Swords. So you're running to the past to pick up something that you left off from. So, and you're moving quickly, something to do with what you love. Look at that white dove in the background. You can see it. It's flying quickly towards the past. Now this speaks of intelligence, this card. It's moving straight into transformation. You're going back, picking up the jewels of the past, information of the past, and this is very karmic. The Justice card is very, very karmic, especially with, the eclipses that are happening in the next month. Now here we've got Saturn return and age. Saturn return is, usually at the age of 28, 29. That's when we have our first Saturn return. So what happened for you if you're over 30 years old, if you're older than that? What happened to you when you were 28, 29, 30 years old? Because that would have been your first Saturn return. That's a difficult time when we grow and we mature. Now for others of you, because if we add 28 and 28, roughly around the age of 55, 56, 57, that's our second Saturn return. That's when Saturn goes around the zodiac twice. Okay, so it's passing the point of when we were born twice, and that's when we are seriously maturing. So there could be a heavy lesson here. Now for others of you, this could be an elderly person in your life who may have passed, and for some sort of a reason they're coming to the forefront. They're being talked about. It's as though they're coming to life through some action. Could it be that in June you lost someone that was dear to you? and the memories are coming back. Nevertheless, whatever is happening with Saturn and Pluto are conjunct. They're only 4 degrees apart in Capricorn. So there are lessons to be learned in anything to do with Capricorn. Now, Saturn can also speak of timing. Timing could be the lesson here, and it's also very karmic. It's a very karmic time. Here we've got the star, and the star is Aquarian energy. This is a wish come true, but it's also, it's healing, and it's a card of hope as well. Now, the star could be someone at a distance. There could be communication through social media. The star is also Uranus, which is in Taurus. Uranus is the instigator. You could be doing something radical, something different. You could be maturing and be seeing life in a different way, and that could be what is giving you the healing here. Some of you may still be, you know, still trying to get over the loss of someone here, and the star brings the healing. Excuse me. And again, messages through social media. Let's see what the Spirit card says. Strength. Strength comes from many sources. Staying strong brings confidence, conviction, and a balanced body, mind, and soul. Spirit has its own unique and beautiful way of replenishing your soul with strength on a continual basis. You're never really alone, as we're always with you. So you've got the strength from peers, from your family, from someone that's in the spirit world here. And it's as though Spirit is helping you close a wound. That's what I feel with this card here. And here we've got let go of control issues, allow this situation to unfold naturally. So there is some sort of a controlling energy around you at this time, Pisces. We've also got unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. For some of you, you may be with someone that's very controlling, and therefore the love does not flourish, does not grow. For others of you, the unrequited love could be the way that you're feeling at this time. Now, we've got the eclipses. We've got retrogrades as well. Sometimes love grows through action, through respect, through communication. For some of you, it hasn't quite flourished yet. So just let go of control, and if it's going to flourish, it's going to flourish. That's the only advice that I've got for you here. You know, I was just looking at this picture here, and it's angels. There's 3 angels around this couple, and it seems as though I'm trying to work out what they're seriously thinking here. I feel as though it's as though they're like hoping that there will be enough love, but for some reason it looks as though the gentleman is open to love, but the woman, for some reason, I don't know, maybe he's just the knight and he's not the king. Maybe she wants the king and not the knight. So I don't know how that would speak to you. Obviously the king would be someone more mature. Maybe this knight could be too young for you. Maybe there's an immaturity for the female, I'm thinking. Let's see what the chocolate message card says. Joy, ice cream and joy. Let's read the card, and we're just about at the end of your reading. When life becomes too serious, find time for joy. Embrace the creative, talented, and enthusiastic side of your nature. This card represents a time of true happiness. Indulge in things that make you feel alive and young again. Things that make you laugh out loud. Adopt a childlike attitude. Loosen up and have some fun. Be like Peter Pan. Believe you can fly and enjoy life. Could you be dealing with someone who's like Peter Pan and they're not serious enough for you? I am young at heart. I enjoy life and life enjoys me. Now, could it be that it's not the right time for some of you There's not enough attraction or chemistry or seriousness in this relationship, I feel, for some of you. Now, because I've got the unrequited love, I'm going to take one more card. And I'm going to take a major arcana. Let's see which sign comes out. So, who is not in love? Which sign here is not in love? And we've got Aries, the Fool. So Aries is a new cycle, a new beginning. Now the Fool and Aries is the instigator. Yes, Aries is that seed. So there could be an immaturity around this person. Now, as I said, you should watch your North Node as well. So if your North Node, if you recognize in your natal chart where your North Node is and it's in Aries, then this could be speaking to you as well. So here we've got also Uranus, and Uranus is the instigator of change. It's the rebel. Some of you are leaving a relationship and starting a whole new, brand new cycle. Okay, so, and, you know, Aquarius is very prominent here because Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. The star is Aquarius. And as I said, here we've got Uranus, which rules Aquarius. So this could be a wish coming true. Whatever you are beginning in June could work out to your benefit. It could be a wish that you have been hoping for, thinking that you cannot reach, but the star is here. And the star is an illuminary. It's shining your path forward. Yes, there could be trials and tribulations in June, but it's not going to be for all of you. Nevertheless, there are lessons, and that's what life is all about. All right. I'd like to thank you all so much for being here, for sharing, liking, subscribing, and commenting. Sending you many wishes. Hope everything works out. Always remember that you need to go back to the readings to check up on what's going on, especially with these 6 months readings. You may think that this may not happen to you in March, but then you see that it has. So that's how we know that the reading resonates. All right, thank you all. Sending you lots of blessings, Pisces. Bye-bye.